the most exquisite royal jewelry. The Portland tiara was more than just a jewel, it was a symbol of royal pageantry, Cartier craftsmanship, and one of the most audacious jewelry heists in modern British history. In 1902, William Cavendish Bentinck, the 6th Duke of Portland, commissioned Cartier to create a glittering tiara for his wife, Winifred, to wear at the coronation of King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra. On that historic day, the Duchess stood under the spotlight, and quite literally under the canopy, as she helped hold it above Queen Alexandra during the anointing ceremony. The tiara dazzled with 17th-century briolette-cut diamonds, supplied by the Duke himself from the family's collection. Its centerpiece was the famed 19th-century Portland diamond, flanked by 2 pear-shaped diamond drops and an array of sparkling pendants, all set in gold and silver. Over time, several stones were removed to craft a brooch, and in her 1925 portrait, the Duchess is seen wearing the tiara without them. For decades, the tiara was the crown jewel of the Portland collection at Welbeck Abbey, until the night of November 20th, 2018. Around 10 p.m., thieves broke into the gallery, used power tools to smash open the reinforced display case, and made off with both the tiara and brooch. Security arrived within 90 seconds, but the jewels had vanished. Investigators later revealed that the stolen pieces were taken to a workshop in London's Hatton Garden within hours of the heist, and were likely smuggled to Turkey shortly afterward. In 2022, 3 men were found guilty of the theft. Today, the Portland tiara, valued at £3.75 million, is believed lost forever. Its legendary diamonds may now be scattered among anonymous jewelry pieces, while the tiara's frame could be hidden away in some secret collection. Sarah Ferguson, the future Duchess of York, was not born into aristocracy, and preparing for her royal wedding to Prince Andrew proved to be a true challenge. The first to come to her aid was Lady Diana, who gifted her a length of exquisite fabric from which her wedding gown was made. But Sarah also lacked the one thing every royal bride is expected to wear: family jewels. This time, the Queen herself stepped in. By her command, Garrard craftsmen created a stunning diamond tiara, especially for the bride. Sarah treasured the piece and wore it often after her wedding, at royal banquets, receptions, and glittering evening events. During an official visit to Toronto, she appeared in a fairy tale pink gown with satin shoes, the diamond tiara crowning the look perfectly. Even after her divorce from Prince Andrew, Sarah continued to wear the tiara. At a grand ball hosted by Elton John at Windsor, she arrived in an elegant black gown, long gloves, and a matching wrap. That evening, she looked breathtaking and raised nearly £1 million for charity. In recent years, the York tiara has rarely been seen in public. Whether it rests in the Duchess's own jewel box or lies safely locked away in the royal vault remains a sparkling mystery. On December 21st, we mark 205 years since the birth of Queen Amalia of Greece, a woman whose life blended royal splendor with years of exile. Born Duchess Amalia of Oldenburg, in 1818, she became the wife of King Otto Fern of Greece and later spent her final decades in Bavaria, her husband's homeland. Her name is forever linked with the Bavarian lover's knot tiara. Commissioned in 1836 by King Ludwig I of Bavaria for his wife, Queen Therese, this jewel was crafted by court jeweler Caspar Rielander. The design featured 16 pearls dangling from delicate diamond bows, with another 16 pear-shaped pearls crowning the top. The set was completed with chandelier earrings and a lavish pearl necklace. Queen Therese proudly wore the tiara in portraits of the 1820s and 1830s. Later, she gifted it to her daughter-in-law, Queen Amalia of Greece. The tiara followed Amalia into exile, and after her death in 1875, as the royal couple had no children, it returned to the Bavarian royal collection. In the 1920s, after the fall of the monarchy, The tiara appeared in portraits of Crown Princess Antonia, wife of the Bavarian pretender Ruprecht. Surviving the hardships of World War II, it later graced Princess Irmingard of Bavaria on one of her wedding ceremonies in 1950. Today, the Lover's Knot tiara is displayed in the Munich Residenz, the former royal palace now serving as a museum. Though it rests behind glass, the Wittelsbach family still retains a remarkable treasury of historic tiaras, each with its own fascinating story. The story of this diamond necklace could easily be the plot of a historical drama, with touches of romance, intrigue, and a dash of crime. When Napoleon Bonaparte parted ways with Josephine, he sought not only a new love, but also an heir. Archduchess Marie-Louise, his second wife, fulfilled her imperial duty in 1811 by giving birth to a son. The emperor, in turn, showered her with lavish gifts, among them a magnificent diamond necklace. This jewel accompanied Marie-Louise not only through the grand halls of Paris, but decades later in Parma, where she served as duchess, married for the third time, and far removed from the French throne. On portraits of the era, the necklace gleams as if she had never stepped away from imperial glory. Crucially, the necklace was her personal property, not a crown jewel. It travelled with her to Italy and, after her death, passed to her brother, for she had outlived her only son. Over the years, it adorned the necks of several distinguished women, from Queen Sofia of Bavaria to Portuguese Infanta Maria Theresa, who treasured it well into the 20th century. Then came 1929, the year of global economic collapse. Widowed and elderly, Maria Theresa decided to sell the necklace. Enter Colonel Townsend and Princess Gervase Baronti, who promised a lucrative deal but turned out to be con artists. Instead of the expected hundreds of thousands of dollars, the Archduchess was nearly left with a mere $7,000. The rest, the swindlers claimed, was for expenses. Even a distant Habsburg relative played a role, lending his noble name to make the scheme appear legitimate. Fortunately, Maria Theresa grew suspicious, acted quickly, and took the matter to court. She won, reclaimed her necklace, and never parted with it again until her death in 1944. Only afterward did the piece change hands again. In the 1960s, it finally landed with famed jeweler Harry Winston, who soon sold it to American heiress Marjorie Merriweather Post. Recognizing its historical importance, she donated it to the Smithsonian Institution, where it remains today. The necklace survives almost exactly as it was 2 centuries ago. Even its original presentation case, the very one Napoleon used when gifting it to his empress, has been preserved. A rare miracle for a jewel that has outlasted empires, wars, scams, and economic disasters. The Greville Ruby Necklace, from kitchen steam to royal splendor. Margaret Greville's life could have been the plot of a lavish period drama. Born in 1863 to a dockworker and cook named Helen Anderson, she seemed destined for a life of hard work and obscurity. But fate had other plans. Her real father was none other than William McEwen, the wealthy brewery owner her mother worked for. And Margaret was not the result of a fleeting affair, but of true love. McEwen adored his daughter and showered her with affection and gifts. When Helen's first husband passed away, she married McEwen, and at 21, Margaret found herself on the threshold of a brighter future, though high society still viewed her with suspicion. That changed when her father arranged a marriage to Ronald Greville, an aristocrat with a distinguished name and an empty bank account. The match was calculated but happy. She brought him fortune, he gave her a title and entry into the elite. Their marriage was short-lived. Ronald died 2 years later, but it left Margaret a wealthy, independent widow. Choosing freedom over remarriage, she embraced a glamorous life, surrounding herself with luxury and jewels. For her, jewelry wasn't just adornment, it was her legacy. When she died without heirs, she left her treasures to her friend, Queen Elizabeth, the mother of the future Elizabeth II. Among them was the now legendary ruby necklace. Created in 1907 by the House of Boucheron, the silver piece is set with Burmese rubies and diamonds in an intricate floral design. Unlike many of her jewels, which she often redesigned, this one remained unchanged. In 1947, it was given as a wedding gift to the young Princess Elizabeth. While the Queen Mother never wore it, Elizabeth II loved it, appearing in it on numerous occasions. In the 1950s, she had it shortened to suit the fashion of the day, and it has remained that way ever since. The necklace has graced countless royal events, including a 2017 Buckingham Palace banquet where it was worn by Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. In 2018, it returned once more to the Queen's collection for a Commonwealth Heads of Government dinner. Today, the Greville ruby necklace stands as a shining symbol of aristocratic elegance and superb craftsmanship, a jewel that has been dazzling the world for more than a century. This one is for the pearl lovers out there. Queen Margherita of Savoy had an unshakable passion for pearls, and not just any pearls. Her collection featured ocean treasures of every size and shape. She had a knack for pairing long, shimmering strands with imposing necklaces and topping off the look with tiaras and pearl earrings. The result? Ensembles that radiated both opulence and refinement. But today, we'll focus on two iconic pieces that proved a royal outfit isn't complete without the perfect finishing touches. First up, the pearl earrings gifted to Margherita by her husband, King Umberto I. Their design was deceptively simple, a gleaming diamond at the top with a large luminous pearl drop suspended below. This understated elegance made them incredibly versatile, pairing effortlessly with nearly any parure in her collection. No wonder the Queen wore them so often, especially alongside her famed emerald parure. The original earrings from that set were heavy and cumbersome, but this pair was both lighter and perfectly matched in style. These earrings became so much a part of her image that they were immortalized in her statue in Bordighera. Though she left them in her will to her daughter-in-law, Queen Eleanor of Montenegro, the jewels didn't survive the march of time. Most likely they were sold alongside another treasure, the emerald brooch. Now, the emerald brooch deserves its own moment in the spotlight. Commissioned by Umberto I in 1879 as a compliment to Margherita's emerald parure, it was nothing short of spectacular. At its center blazed a rich green emerald, encircled by smaller diamonds, then framed by alternating clear and green stones, arranged in the shape of a fantastical blossom. Every connection was studded with tiny diamonds, the craftsmanship meticulous down to the last millimeter. And just when you think it couldn't get more lavish, the jewelers went further, adding a drop pendant featuring an unusually shaped pearl, flanked by two shorter drops tipped with dazzling diamond briolets. It was a perfect marriage of Margherita's two great loves, emeralds and pearls. The Queen wore the brooch both with her full parure and as a standalone statement piece, often pairing it with the beloved pearl earrings. Together, they made an unforgettable set. Upon her death, both pieces passed to Queen Eleanor, who shared her mother-in-law's fondness for pearls and wore the jewels with pride. They remained in the Savoy family until 1971, when they were sold at auction for $130,000, ending their royal chapter, but not their legend. One of Queen Letizia's most treasured jewels, the dazzling diamond bracelets of Queen Victoria Eugenie. If Spanish ladies ever gossip during their afternoon siesta, it's often about one woman, Queen Letizia. Her impeccable style, her wardrobe, and, of course, her jewels are always a topic of conversation. And no wonder. She has an exquisite eye for pairing modern fashion with the historic treasures of the Spanish crown. Among these heirlooms is a collection with a rather poetic name, Joyas de Passar, jewels that can only be worn by the wives of reigning monarchs. Many of these pieces once belonged to Queen Victoria Eugenie of Battenberg. And today, we're opening the royal jewel box to explore one of its brightest stars, the legendary twin diamond bracelets. But first, a bit of backstory. When King Alfonso XIII of Spain was preparing to marry Princess Victoria Eugenie, he commissioned a series of breathtaking wedding gifts. Among them was a miniature crown known as the Coronita, adorned with diamonds, rubies, and emeralds, a nod to the diamond crown of Queen Victoria, the bride's famous grandmother. It was a dazzling little masterpiece, and Queen Ina, as she was affectionately called, wore it often, especially over her white mantilla during the opening of Parliament. But in 1931, the Spanish royal family went into exile. Ina took her treasures with her, including the Coronita. Years later in Switzerland, she decided she would never wear it again and had it dismantled. Some of its diamonds were sent to her daughters, and others were entrusted to the Italian jeweler Bulgari, who transformed them into two intertwined diamond bracelets, the Las Pulseras Gemelas, or twin bracelets. In the 1950s and 60s, Queen Ina wore them frequently, often paired with her Cartier pearl tiara and the emeralds of Empress Eugenie. After her death in 1969, the bracelets passed to her son, Infante Juan, Count of Barcelona, who incorporated them into the Joya de Passar collection. Interestingly, there's no evidence his wife, Countess Maria de las Mercedes, ever wore them. Their next chapter began with Queen Sofia of Greece, who first donned them in 1983 during a state visit from Sweden. For over 3 decades, she was the sole wearer of these radiant twins, often sporting them together on both wrists, just as Queen Ina had. The bracelets finally reached Queen Letizia in 2014 after King Juan Carlos abdicated. And in her hands, they've found a fresh life. Since 2017, they've graced her at state visits to Japan, the UK, and Sweden, as well as at less formal events like award ceremonies and even the NATO summit. But Letizia has made the style her own, wearing both bracelets stacked on one wrist. This signature look was seen at King Willem-Alexander's 50th birthday celebrations in 2017 and at Emperor Naruhito's enthronement banquet in 2019. One thing is certain, these twin diamonds won't be gathering dust in Letizia's jewel case anytime soon. Their timeless sparkle is as captivating today as it was in Queen Ina's era. A perfect blend of history, elegance, and modern royal flair. The exiled Egyptian queen and the vanished diamond necklace. The fate of the beautiful Nazli and her lost treasure. Egyptian queens have always been known for their love of magnificent jewels. Crafted by the finest jewelers, their treasures dazzled with beauty and value, works of art meant to last for centuries. Yet, as Egypt's turbulent history unfolded, many of these gems disappeared into the shadows. One such mystery surrounds a breathtaking diamond necklace once owned by Queen Nazli. Even in faded black and white photographs, this necklace radiates opulence. In reality, it must have been blindingly beautiful. Created in 1938, it featured 2 large diamond roses with delicately sculpted leaves, all set in shimmering platinum. Matching diamond clips, which could be worn on clothing or even in the hair, completed the set. According to one version of events, Queen Nazli was forced to sell these jewels during her exile in the United States, while her own son ruled Egypt. Who bought them and where they are now remains a mystery. All we know is that such treasures did not bring their owner happiness. Instead of living a fairy tale, she found herself trapped in a gilded cage. Nazli Sabri was 25 when she married King Fuad I of Egypt, a man twice her age. The king had first spotted her at the opera and quickly proposed. As the daughter of Cairo's governor and the Minister of Agriculture, she could hardly refuse. At first, the prospect must have seemed dazzling, but the doors soon closed, quite literally. Queen Nazli was forbidden to leave the palace, allowed out only for rare women's gatherings or the occasional opera performance. Reports claim that King Fuad subjected her to both physical and emotional abuse. Still, she gave him 5 children, 4 daughters and a son, Farouk, who would inherit the throne. It was this very son who exiled her. Soon after becoming king, Farouk discovered that his mother had arranged the marriage of Princess Fathia without his consent, a move he would not forgive. Nazli left Egypt, never to return. Even after Farouk's own early death, she was not welcomed back. She died in Los Angeles in 1978. As for the diamond roses, perhaps they still survive, tucked away in a private collection. And maybe, just maybe, one day they will reappear to remind the world of the beauty, tragedy, and mystery of Egypt's most glamorous exile.